Once again, greetings and welcome to our Amba history. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for that poor sound over there. I don't know if you actually were getting the sound, but I'm sure that we are in for a deal today. All right, let's go. As I told you, today is Monday, the 22nd of August 2022, and our history is proving on, and we are pushing on with our history. It is going, and we must just remind you that we are still pulling on. Today, I have to just put you in remembrance of a number of things that you already know. When it comes to this struggle in which we find ourselves, I want to first of all say 21 gun salutes to all our defense team on home front from all the four corners of Ambazonia and from the three regions, the three zones of Ambazonia: the Savannah zone, the Midland zone, and the Atlantic zone. We dub our cabs, and I particularly say 21 gun salutes to all of you who are sitting in there. And to those of you who have found ABC an informative medium for you to know exactly what is going on, encourage other people. I know there is a fight that La Republic is doing together with other enablers to make sure that you don't get the best. And they are doing everything to frighten you and make you to think that things are not moving. For your information, as a historian, I'm here to tell you that things are moving, and they are moving in the very right direction. Yes, the direction with which things are moving is the right direction. And if you are not yet in the position of getting into this particular move, I want to let you know that you'll be disturbed. But when you don't know what is going on, the next thing is you are confused. And any bird that flies, you can allow the bird to settle down and a nest on your head. It is still very much shocking to me how many Christian people and men of God who have risen up to know that what the dirty politicians are doing is the job that they're supposed to do. But because they were deceived and told that it is a dirty job, politics, a dirty job, they gave up and handed it over to dirty people. But over the months and over the years, and especially in this 21st century, it has been discovered by men of God, men who are giving themselves to God and seeking for the welfare of their fellow human beings, have discovered that leadership, governorship, authority, power, dominion was actually given into the hands of those that were in good standing with God after creation. Because God said, dominate the world. After, let us make man in our own image. After he said that, he now gave them the authority to occupy. But well, guess what happened? As the devil deceived Adam and Eve in the garden, so he came subtly and started telling the people, oh, this thing is a dirty game. If you get into it, you will lose your salvation. You will not be able to do this and that. And so many weak minded, little minded, faithless people of God, they went to the back seat. And when they got to the back seat, they left the politics, which is a means of governance, the acts of and science of governance. They left it to the hands of dirty people, and the people started playing their dirty game and sent out the signals that this was a very dirty game, and the church swallowed its hook, single, and nickel. And today they are grouping in darkness. But the 21st century gentlemen, the youth of today, they are increasingly discovering that that was a lie. They were told a lie, and they are coming up to the state. Amazonians, even before dirty politicians came into our show and into our company and into our situation, we were first of all governed by the conscience that God gave to us. And that's why an average person from our country, former British Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, can testify of our history, that it was built on nothing but on God. And as it was being built on God, a lot of people were enjoying and benefiting at that time. But when these colonial masters came, oh boy, they did something because of their wickedness and tried to put us all in bondage. And looking at the average black man, let me go to that extent now. Look at the average black man. He is somebody that can go ahead and kill his brother for a piece of bread. Meanwhile, the loaf of bread actually belongs to him because he doesn't know. What am I saying? Our history has come a long way. Now, with the God consciousness that we had, and with the strictness and the seemingly uprightness of the British people to whom the United Nations gave us to be their trust territory, they combined. Our godly instinct that was in us before the truth was actually written down and brought to us in a written form. We were already practicing it because it is written that people who did not know God through their conscience, they did that which was right because the consciousness of God was in every human being that was created. But what happened is that the deceit and the sinning against God, the disobedience of Adam and Eve, our forefathers, blurred it, made the conscience to be blurred. And that is why an average, especially Ambazonia, has the consciousness of God. I will not go into the details of telling you the descendants of the children of Abraham and which lineage we came from. But I just want to let you know that our standard in Ambazonia, we came from the most feared and reverend child that followed God after Abraham. You all know that we are living in a world that was not created like this. No father will want to punish the child. No father will want to allow the child or give birth to a child and put a stone on his head, a millstone, so that he should not grow. No father will do that. If you find anybody doing that, that person is a psychopath. That person is mad. In fact, even mad people don't do that. That person has a demon, has a devil. God will not create you, Ambazonians, and make you not to have your freedom. I said I will not go into the nitty-gritties of the origin of this mess. But let me just point out to you, did you ever hear a history talking about a nation whose ruler was a king, and the son had to sleep with the wife of the father, not the reborn mother, but the concubine, the other wife that the father had? Now, that generation degenerated and happened to be France, because that kind of immorality can only come from the devil. And France got into being the children and the descendants of that wicked child of the father who slept with the stepmother. Did you hear that? And when France did that, of course, other evils. Now, if you can sleep with your father's wife, then what is different and difficult for you to corrupt people, embezzle, lie? And I do not actually know what is going on. That's why the spiritual cabinet of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is really on its knees, excuse me, asking God to help La République du Cameroon, because they will never, and they have never seen anything that is called freedom. And they will not want to leave anybody that is falling after freedom to be actually free. And if that happens, and that is happening, we want to alert you and to let you know that the Ambazonians have handed over this fight to, has created and given us a means whereby we can help even La République and France. Now, our help is that we will stand as intercessors to pray and to ask for mercy. It is God who will give the mercy, but we will do our part. Because it is written, I search for a man, just one person, to stand in the gap so that I can spare the people. The spiritual cabinet in Ambazonia is praying for France, praying for La République, standing in the gap, because only the truth can make you free. And La République is still searching for the truth. I'm thinking that the military option that everybody has said, even those whom they have given some bribe, and those who have been released from their prison and they are singing their praises and saying some very funny things, that we know that there's water in their mouth. Now, all those people, whatever they are saying, we do know and understand very well that there is something wrong somewhere. And that thing that is wrong somewhere can only be corrected when you trace back to where you're coming from. Our history is very clean and clear. And I'm so glad that of recent, and because of this prevailing situation that is going on now with Ambazonia, a lot of the Francophones who don't have freedom, who have never been independent, who are still depending on the France for their livelihood and their leadership, they are beginning to understand very seriously where we are and what is going on. Yes, they are understanding that they are not free. And because they are not free, they think to bring every other person under their bondage. Of course, it is not working and it will not work. It has never worked, it will not work, and it is not working. What am I saying? That the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, with its leader, Dr. Samuel Sarko Ekome, as president, and the unbeatable spokesperson in the person of the Secretary of State for Communications, Dr. Martin Mungwa, who is not bringing out theories, who is not bringing out lies to tell to people, who is not out to just to flatter people, but bring out a lot of information that is tangible and can be verified, have taken a decision that we are going ahead. Oh yes, we are going ahead. And because we are going ahead, the enemy is furious. Furious to do what? Recruiting more and more people against the truth. It shall not prosper. We are just coming out from current events that are turning out into history. And mysteries are being unraveled, not because some people did not know that it was a lie, but many people knew that they were lies that were being propagated because on social media, and many people were getting deceived. In our history, just like it has happened in the histories of the world, we do not actually have a difference of what had happened before. When I read through the pages of my textbook, my historical textbook, or my history textbook, I see a lot of plans and a lot of programs and a lot of things going on, like what is going on in Ambazonia today, which means that we are just repeating history. People who were standing before and clamoring and shouting that we must make it in Ambazonia, today we find them actually getting back to their vomit. What do I mean by getting back to their vomit? I mean that these people actually thought that by getting into the dungeons of La Republique and being released, they can come out and mean something. We have been saying it. Anybody who has gone into the dungeon of La Republique and come out, there is an effect on that person. It doesn't matter how much you have been standing for the fight. Current events turning into history. People who stood and said that we must get to Boya, they come out from La Republique dungeon and their languages change. They put a few things there to make sure they deceive more the people who are listening to them. But they forget to know that no country has ever been taken after the fall of man on a platter of gold. that anybody and everybody must fight before you get it. You must fight. The only person who did not fight because his kingdom was not earthly was Jesus. Jesus left the earth and went. If you say you are here on earth and you want to be useful to the people here on earth, you must stand on the truth. You must stand on justice. And justice will mean that you must fight the unjust and injustice to bring about justice. Coming out to make videos and talk stories, condemn this one and condemn that other one, and partially justify this one, and claim that you are the Omega and the Alpha is laughable. But if we all come together, you bring your idea, I bring my idea, we look for a middle ground, we stand on the middle ground. And what is the middle ground? The middle ground is the truth. What is the truth? The world may not want to give you the truth, but they know the truth and they have the truth. But the impossible thing with them is that they are finding it difficult to give out the truth because there is another person who is fighting against the truth. You all know him. He doesn't come up from the pit of hell. He doesn't jump down from the sky, or he doesn't come from the abyss. No. It's a spirit, just like you who say you are a Christian. You know about the Holy Spirit and that he is the one in charge. Even so, there is the evil spirit that is also in charge of those who do not want the truth completely. Let me tell you something. I went to visit a particular land, and the person who owns this land is a child of God. He believes in the finished work of Calvary. He believes that he cannot fight for himself. And so he handed over everything to God, just like Ambazonia has done. That lesson taught me a lesson. The day he wanted to develop this land, the owner that sold him the land had died. They had signed all papers, but his papers were with his lawyer, and the lawyer was not in the country. So these children of this lady formulated a story that the part of the land was sold and the other part was not sold. And then he got in touch with, I cannot remember now whether it was his lawyer. He said, just do any other document and forge the signature of the person who sent it, who sold the land to you. This man said, no, I cannot forego my salvation to fake a signature that doesn't belong to me. And he refused. And so the work on the land was stopped. After a few months, the lawyer came, went to his archives, and found a real original document. See, when you stand for the truth, it doesn't matter how people are biting you and quarreling you. Stand on the truth. The truth will prevail. I've heard people say all this thing about God, 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 God. My dear friend, if you leave the God who is the creator and the owner of Ambazonia, and you go into God's, what you want to do, at the end of the day, you will fail. Because at his time, he makes everything to work out perfectly. I think if there is any lesson an average Ambazonian should learn, he should learn it by now. This is 6 year counting. We have some people who have been here and fighting for Ambazonia, and the day they tasted of the forbidden fruit of La Republique, they turn around. Remember, I told you, our history is not all that very complex, but our history is true history. In that you taste of the forbidden fruit of La Republique in two ways: either materially, that is physically, or spiritually. And when you taste of that material and that forbidden fruit in any of these ways, at the end of the day, it will be proven that you were wrong. You must not eat of the forbidden fruit. What is the forbidden fruit? Don't get anything from La Republique in order to sell your brother, in order to sell your brothers, in order to sell 8 million people, because it will not work. Number two, don't join La Republique in their church. That's a demonic gathering. Any of the secret societies that some people from your village or that say the Ambazonians will lure you into signing a covenant, an agreement with entities that you don't know, because they will fail you. Definitely they will fail you. So what am I saying? I am telling Ambazonians, our history is moving, though slowly, but surely. And anybody who gets up to fight for Ambazonia by his strength, no, you will go. You cannot fight by your strength. You cannot fight by the strength of the divinities or the entities that you are following after. You must fight only by the strength of God. And the strength of God is the truth. Were we with La Republique on the 1st of January 1960, when they purportedly were having their independence? The answer is no. That is very clear, clean and clear. Is there any document of association or amalgamation or joining together with La Republique by the former British Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, reserved there in the UN? The answer is no. That is the truth. And that is where we're supposed to stand. Now, come back home. Why is the fighting? La Republique has come in to make sure that it takes the land by force. They have come in to make sure that they kill everybody and take the land. And people are sitting there, even the UN that has the documents that we were not with La Republique on the 1st of January, France purportedly gave them independence. They know it. So why is the fight? We are fighting because it is in God's record that you must stand up for your property. If you fold your hands, they will crush you and take it over. If you fold your hands that you are for God, God does not want lazy people. God wants people to stand up for their rights. If you are killed for your right, the answer remains with God. And that is why we have been urging every Ambazonia. Some of the people who are actually fighting now are the ones that have been radicalized by La Republique. They get into the home, kill the father, kill the mother, kill the brothers, and then the one who is left, what does he do? He jumps out there to make sure that he defends himself or herself. So I pity the Ambazonians who are sitting down and claiming that They don't want to involve. Okay, if you don't want to involve, they have jumped into the houses, pick you out from the house, and kill you right on the street in front of your house. What is honorable? It is honorable for you defending yourself and be killed defending yourself than to die like a chicken. They pull you out and kill you. And I've heard so many Ambazonians who have eaten the forbidden fruit, either spiritually or physically, shouting and telling people, oh, you in the diaspora, you sit there, you make noise, you meet there, you give this and that and that and that. Let me tell you, most of the people in the diaspora have actually no business fighting for Ambazonia. But do you know what? They are fighting for Ambazonia because they are not selfish. Because many of them stay in their homes, they have their jobs, they eat well, they do their things okay. But unfortunately, some of us who are still on home front, we make a lot of noise. Instead of appreciating the support that they are giving, we are pointing fingers and cursing them out. They are doing it because they actually are trying to support you to make sure that Ambazonia comes back to be a land that you will get. And when you are there, you'll be free. Oh, yes, that is what is going on. And so, the people of Ambazonia, I want to let you know that you are standing on the right foot doing what you are doing. Hello, you want to speak to us on the air? All right, so I got a call there. I thought he was speaking to us on the air. That's Chairman Angelica. And so we are telling Ambazonians our history and what they ought to know and what they ought to do. And we are just telling Ambazonians that those of them who are on home front and they are being deceived by La Republique and by some Ambazonians who have been also deceived by La Republique, and they are making a lot of noise. La Republique's plan is to get them out of the game, take their land, and then use it for themselves while they are lavishing and dying in poverty as it is presently going. So we are out here to tell the Ambazonians, and we are telling you Ambazonians, our history started on a very good footing. When we settled in that land, as God made us to settle in that land, it became our land. Yes, Tata Angelica, I know that you are the one. That's why I'm saying that we are here live on ABC, educating our people and telling them what we are standing for, Tata. Like you are standing there. Thank you very much for standing and fighting for the liberation of our homeland. And I know you are not fighting alone. You are fighting with God. God bless you. Hey, UN, I will not forget. I want to let you know that you have a lot of critics. They will even go in to make sure that they remove people from Facebook. They block the Facebook from not listening to the truth of what you are saying. But guess what? Go ahead. We are together. And whatever is good to be spoken, we will speak it. And let Ambazonians know that we are in for a deal. And that deal is getting back into our homeland. Some people who were born a few days ago, when I say a few days ago, I simply means a few years ago, who do not and actually do not understand our history, and who are blinded to the tricks and the games of La Republique. They're trying to discourage us. But guess what? We will not be discouraged. Those that La Republic has taken over and asked them to make a lot of fragmentation, of which is also going on in Amazon, in La Republic, sorry, in La Republic. And they don't want people to know that this is the fragmentation that is going on amongst them. They come to sing our own and shout it on the top of their voices. Well, these are a determined people. And their program is that we are getting into Amazonia. Come shine, come rain. And that's why we are going on. Now, on our part, historically, honest people, sincere, truthful people, standing on the truth, people have tried to canvas us to get into lies telling, propaganda, falsehood, exaggerations, but we have said no. We know to whom we are committed, who is doing the fight for us. Now, some people even get up and mock. But the people who are not standing on the truth, or you say you are judging. No. By their fruit you shall know them. When a man gets up and tells his Njangi house president that, hey, look here, just go ahead and all right, I have a caller. Are you calling to talk on the line, please?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. The microphone is yours.
Yes. Yes. In fact. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'm telling you that.
Please reduce the television. Reduce your television. It's echoing back here. Put the volume of your television down before you can speak, please.
Hey, lower that thing for me. Hello? Lower that thing. What I can tell you is that, are you with me?
Your television is still on. Your television is still on. Your television is just on. Can you put it all off and only talk to me here and listen through your phone, please? Remember, you are on our Amba history, and we are telling our people what they have to know and not to give in for the lies and the tricks of La République du Cameroon. You are calling from home front. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from home front, Atlantic Zone. Monuka edge, precise.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I want just to congratulate all of you sitting there. This is the only time that I've seen that the IG is standing up to La Republic since 1961. We were there. When children going to primary school when the Fulan conference took place and people were jubilating. In 1972, when they were doing the referendum, people were celebrating all over like that. But this is the only time I've seen that an IG is standing up to the Republic, and they are feeling bad now. So please, keep on very well. Congratulations, Pastor Komando, and so on. Congratulations. Keep on very well. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Pa. Thank you very much. Well, calling from home front to make us to know that he was available and alive when the Fumban conference took place, telling us that he was alive and available when the 1972 took place. Now, these are people who are the custodians of our history, and they know it as we are telling you. And again, I pity the young men of Amazonia today who are writing rubbish and making noise. But then I would sincerely want to think that these are not Ambazonians. They are people from La Republique who are mocking, and they want to discourage a lot of people who want to go to homeland and stay in homeland and eat their bread with no scarcity. Yes. Now, such people, we say, I shout to you because it is going to happen. We have heard from home front that this is one of the only times in 60 years that the interim government has stood to face La Republique squarely. And even though they have gone back to their old tricks, using a number of us in the house, we have decided never to allow La Republique have its way again. They've tried the first time, the second time, the third time. I don't know which time this is, but we know that this is the last straw on the camel's back. They must not, and they will not. History is unfolding as we are going. You all have heard. I don't need to repeat it here on our history page because we have done it before. When our son, Dion Gute, went to our after eating the forbidden fruit given to him by La Republique, when he landed in our land, he spoke the truth. He said, this is the time to get up and fight. This is the time to get back our land. This is the time to get our freedom. He said all that. Are you forgetting? That was God that made him to talk the truth for the first time. He has been in La Republique, groomed in La Republique, with lies telling, without conscience. And he gets up to shamelessly tell people to come out from the bushes. Who sent them to the bushes? He's very close to his boss. Why don't he walk over there and said, you started this fight. You started this game. Can you stop the game? Why can't he do it? Ambazonians, don't be fooled a second time. We are at a stage where there is no turning back. Our history is becoming a reality. That is how Britain got their own. That's how America got their own. That's how Europe fought among themselves and got their own, and got the divisions and the partition of their land. And that's why they came over to partition us. My dear friends, we are at the cross section. And this session that we are crossing over is a session that has been determined by truth, because politics is not lies telling. Politics is not gimmicks. Politics is not climbing and blackmailing one another. No. You can learn example from Dr. Samuel Ekomesako, the president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. In his politics, he doesn't climb on anybody. He simply follows that which is truth. And the people who are working and are in members of this interim government, they have been groomed to such a way that they only come out to make a corringindum and to disclaim some certain sayings that are not pitching, that are not for this interim government. You won't find them backbiting. You won't find them telling a lie. Like I was about to tell you before the call from home front, how I heard one Jange president leader saying that one of his members say, Madam President, just go out there and announce that he is dead and gone and let business continue as usual. I'm telling you, your brother is dead, and you go and tell your Njangi House President that go ahead and just announce it, even though you have heard a conference, a meeting, and the things did not rhyme. And the Njangi House President said, I am not going to announce something like that, sir. and that has brought a split, the confusion, more confusion among the confused. But what we are saying is that Ambazonians are determined and they are pushing ahead. For the first time, after creating a walkout, I heard Mr. Anu announcing that Dr. Sako raised a lot of funds. He announced that he raised a lot of funds, of which he had already said he did not raise anything, he was not doing anything. But now, you see, the truth is coming out. That's why you don't fight. When he said that Dr. Sako was not doing anything, a number of people followed him. Now he has turned around to say that he was doing very well. Please, if you have been following him and you know this double standard, the interim government is open. Come back to the house. Let's ride on. This interim government is ordered and ordained by God, and we are following after what God is doing and what God is saying. So please, come back to the house. The door is open. You have seen that lies do not have any longevity. They are for a short while. But at the very beginning, they are very promising and like looking sweet in the ears. But because they are lies, they are like vapor. They will evaporate, and they have evaporated. So come back to the house. The interim government is moving on. Last Saturday, that is a few days ago, you heard what happened in DMC. 51,000 plus was raised because the battle is still raging on. And I heard him say a number of things, fighting against the person he he voted to be the president of their group. And now he has come out to talk about being the president. He wants to do more than what the woman has been doing. Anyway, that is just coiling from a few things that I heard, and that is not our concern. Our biggest concern is to correct, to help the Ambazonians and to cheer you up, to focus on where you are going. When somebody has goods to protect, he doesn't hear from here and there. No, we are not hearing from here and there. That's why if you are listening to other media and complaining that you are getting confused, it's because you are getting it from the wrong source. Get back to your house. What is your house? Your LGA, your county. These are institutions that were brought up by the interim government. But some people want to confuse you. They still go by those appellations. They still call themselves IG, just to confuse you the more. But I've told you time and again that this interim government has its structures. The interim House of Representatives, the Judicial Council, the Ethics Commission, the Spiritual Cabinet, and what more? You have they still call themselves cabinet members, and they still call other appellations that they got from this interim government. Tomorrow, I want to call on all the spiritual cabinet, both at home front and abroad. Tomorrow is a very dicey day in our revolution, especially with the coup plotters and those who did what they did to make sure that they hand us back to La Republique, and we refuse. Tomorrow is a D-Day for them. Now get into your cabinet, and then let's do what we know how to do best. I'm sure you understand me. All right, if you don't understand, give me a shout, I'll explain to you. But if you are a parliamentarian in that spiritual cabinet, then you know what I'm saying. We need to get to the horns of the altar and do what we know how to do best. Ladies and gentlemen, it is at this juncture that we'll call it a date with all of you who have come in to do that which you can do. We know there is a fight on Facebook, and we know that trusting in our God, we will make it to happen. For that, on that note, I will say God bless you, and don't forget, don't go away, stay put with the ABC, your media for the people of Ambazonia. And when you stay put with the media for the people of Ambazonia, I am telling you, you will not regret. But one thing I want you to do before you go away is to always remember that our God, who has called us and given us this power and the knowledge and the ability to tell the people out there that politics, which we are not yet playing, is not a dirty game, but to let them know that God wants us to lead. And in the course of leading, of course, leadership is called politics. And the people who don't want, who say that they are not into politics, I'm surprised. Politics is not a dirty game. Politics is, okay, this is not the forum for politics, but just to let you know. Yeah, sister, before we started our historical rendering for today, I did not call you to come in because of some certain things. All right, you can now come in and then tell us to remember. All right, over to you.
Hallelujah.